1 minute to go until the liftoff. This is from the command. And the astronauts are well aboard the spacecraft, making their final checks and probably calm down their mood. 40 seconds to go. The final countdown to the liftoff of China's fifth manned mission, Shenzhou-10. 30 seconds to go. The 4 boosters strapped on the rocket now standing by to be ignited. 20 seconds to go. 10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. And we have a new liftoff. The liftoff of Shenzhou-10, and the astronauts on board pretty happy and confident and waving their hands to the command center here on the Earth. And now Shenzhou-10 is on its journey to space to join China's prototype space lab Tiangong-1, which was launched in 2011. Well, this is about 10-minute process for the rocket and the spacecraft to go through until they reach the orbit. This is what we're going to see in the next 10 minutes. The optical laser has been tracking the spacecraft and the launch vehicle. All things are normal. Well, this is a view taken from the launch vehicle of the boosters and is ascending to the space. The radar tracking is still working well. This is a view of the Earth from the launch vehicle, the rocket. The 4 boosters are still giving a huge thrust to the combination of the launch vehicle and the spacecraft itself. Aboard on them are 3 Chinese astronauts setting off for the 5th manned space program in China.
Booster engine cut off.
Yeah, the booster engine cut off, so the 4 boosters were let go. Now the escape tower were let go. That means it's on its own for the combination of the spacecraft and the launch vehicle. But in case anything happened, the astronaut can still use the spacecraft to evacuate. That is getting higher, and now the separation of the boosters. The 4 boosters were let go, and the next will be the second stage being separated. Now the second stage also come off. The second stage of the booster also come off. And next will be the separation of the pairing of the rocket. And now still an optical image of the launch vehicle and the spacecraft with the 4 boosters already separated and descending. Actually, it's an infrared picture of the spacecraft. Now the pairing of the rocket also come off. We still have optical radar tracking the spacecraft. It goes, everything is going on as scheduled. So when can we say it's already in space? Is it 200 kilometers above the Earth?
Usually the dividing line is 100 kilometers.
100, so it is further than 100 kilometers.
Yes, at 100 kilometers it is actually possible for a satellite to execute one orbit around the Earth before air drag.
But will the astronauts feel the microgravity at that moment?
No, they're under the thrust of the rocket.
No, they're under the thrust of the rocket. Right. Until the rocket separated,
until the rocket's turned off. Right.
Okay.
Then they will feel microgravity.
And that's a moment of magic, because for many people, they may never have the chance to have a feel of what microgravity does to you. And just at that single moment when the booster comes off, you are in a microgravity environment. But of course, those astronauts are still strapped on their seats. If they let loose of this seat belts,
they'd have to take their seat belts off to appreciate it, right?
Now we're hearing all the tracking stations providing the update about the status of the combination. So far, all the radar signals from the tracking stations have proved that the combination has been moving on smoothly. And on the right-hand side is a view of the Earth and the spacecraft in one frame. We see just a very tiny part of the Earth on the upper hand side. That's taken from a camera, I believe, outside the spacecraft. And on the right-hand side now is the infrared picture of the spacecraft. And now it's turned to a picture of the simulated map of the trajectory of the combination. We cannot tell whether the astronauts are feeling good or not, but it seems they are in control of the spacecraft and waiting until the moment that they feel microgravity when the booster comes off. And this time it seems we have more cameras mounted on the spacecraft and the rocket, so we see some pictures we never seen before during the liftoff. Well, very soon the second stage will also be let off. That means we are about to enter the orbit. Now the second stage also turn off. The second stage of the booster was turned off, the engine was turned off. Very soon the spacecraft will be transported into its initial orbit. John, what are those things that we must consider to calculate a appropriate orbit for a spacecraft?
Well, there are actually 6 things you measure. Your position in north-south, east-west, and vertically, and your velocity in each of those 3 directions. Mm-hmm. Then given all 6 of those coordinates, you calculate what the future path will be. If that future path stays outside the atmosphere, then you're in a stable orbit.
Okay. Well, it's just less than 1 minute until the separation of the launch vehicle and the spacecraft itself. And that happens, it means the spacecraft is on its own to the orbit. Now the separation of the booster and the spacecraft. So the spacecraft Shenzhou-10 is on its own to get to the orbit. And that is a major point saying that we have completed the liftoff process. We have the ascension of the spacecraft.